feel. You know how I feel. Ooh, you know how I feel. You know how I feel. Ooh. Ooh, you know how I feel. You know how I feel.
Test. Okay.
Ooh, you know how I feel. You know how I feel. Ooh.
Okay, so Lindsay's here, Mimi's here, Lisa is here, so if you're just joining us, up in the comments, you know, if it's easy, if you have a stool, or a big pillow, or a yoga balls are like the big blow-up kind that everybody used to decorate their living room with. If you have one of those laying around, or a stool, or anything like that, preferably, you know, something without like arms, like I'm sitting in right now, grab that. You don't have to have it. We'll be fine. And then you might want to grab a pillow if you don't have that. And if you things are totally unavailable or they don't work in your setting, we'll have a great class. Don't worry about it. These are just little points. The other thing is, if you have a blindfold, we are going to do one. If I stay on track, we're going to do one blindfolded exercise. Again, you don't need one. You can just close your eyes. But if you have one, and you like that feeling, go ahead and grab that. So, sorry that even when I'm ready, we start a little late. I'm sorry about that, guys. I really am doing my best. So yesterday, if you were here for the jam yesterday, super fun. I had, we knew that Spiral was coming home. There was a chance. Okay, sweet. Okay. All right. So let me. Okay. Okay, your boy is stupid. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Believe it or not, this is never mind. Okay. So, hopefully you can see me now. Okay, cool. I hope you were able to hear some of what I said over the music, but maybe it was too loud and I apologize for that. Anyway, all I was saying is that if you could go get a yoga ball, if you go get a stool or something like that, that might help you later. If you could grab a pillow, that might help you later. You don't have to have it. Yeah, no, this is going to be just the audio version tonight. But, Okay, good, Jennifer. Thank you. Okay, I'm monologuing to the theme song, so you guys could hear most of what I said, so I won't go all into it. Okay, so here's the type of class that I'm doing this for. Tonight is going to be hard, and it will probably be the type of class that potentially, you might visit what we call, Frustrationville. And Frustrationville is a place that we all know nobody likes the place, and you just want to get out of there as fast as you can. One of the ways of getting out of Frustrationville is to acknowledge that you're there. I know it sounds a little kind of, whatever, but it's true that, like, if you just sort of acknowledge, I'm frustrated, and why am I frustrated? Well, I'm frustrated because I can't move. I'm not taking anything away from it, but you're frustrated because you can't move a piece of plastic the way you want to. Like on the scale of life, like frustration, learning a hoop move needs to be put in perspective, right? And so if you find yourself frustrated, I hope that you can just take note, laugh a little, and then just, set that as a marker, because I guarantee you that if you come back to that later, you won't stay in Frustrationville that long. Like every hooper that works on things gets better at it. I've never seen it not happen. No one reverses, right? So tonight we're going to go over what I consider to be advanced core skills. Now, why do I think that they're advanced? I think that they're advanced because I used to teach a lot. I saw a lot of hoopers, and I went to hoop festivals, and so I saw a lot of them. And so it was always I was using just what I was witnessing from people that had never tried it before to people that have been doing something for a long time, all things added in. And I realized, like, there's certain skills that that I've been teaching here in the HoopPath in this local community, and then by extension the national community, that are above average. Like, they are above what I saw on the road. And a lot of times when I go into a city for the first time, they were all frustrated because, like, I would be frustrated if somebody was coming in and teaching me things that I had never really thought about. So these might be those things. So anyway, I don't want to scare the hell out of anybody, but I just want to, say that we're kind of going. This is a Monday night class, right? Like, this is going to be challenging to you. Now, if you or maybe not, but if you want to make it, I'm a big believer in giving yourself every fair and legal advantage. And it is perfectly fair and perfectly legal for you to go get a big hoop right now, to go get your larger learner hoop and to try that one on, or at least have it close by if anything goes wrong. Okay, so this is an energetic class. It has to be. So we're going to have a sway. Yeah, okay, we've swayed to this one before, but I just like it. So we're going to start off with a sway, and then we're going to jump in. Now, a little behind the scenes. Tara, who's usually here, teaches class, and her class does not end until 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, so that's why she'll be arriving late. Okay, so let me jump into here. Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. Audible breath in. Without Tara here, it kind of looks like this is like an episode of Dateline or something. But Tara was nowhere to be found. I'm gonna get blindfolded, you don't have to. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Open. It won't be your ego that learns tonight. It could be the ego that blocks the body from learning tonight. With every breath, drop below the ego. Audible breath. When I first began teaching, so many people would ask me, why do I spend so much time talking about insecurity? trappings of the ego. And the reason I talked about it so much is that I'm a competitive guy and I wanted to be the best teacher I could be. And what I noticed over and over in myself, in my students, was how they were letting some manifestation of an insecurity keep them from physically learning. Whether it was repetitive self-doubt or unworthiness, or a feeling of just bad luck. And I found that if I could make people feel comfortable, usually by just calling these things out, that their movement got better. That they moved more fluidly. More openly. And sometimes even more fiercely. Tonight we're breathing into the potential self. As if we are already there. You are already there. Audible breath in. Okay, so let's see if we can make this happen. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's see if we can make this happen. There we go. Okay, and here we are. Okay, so we're going to start off with some core hooping tonight because this is going to be a core hooping class. I'm going to put what I think is just a random fun track, and we'll just, oops. Huh. Okay, never mind, sorry. Forgive me, sorry. Okay. Yeah, let's just start with a nice easy song. Tonight this is going to be on my, I'm playing off my iTunes tonight. And this is pretty much just free core hoop for you right now. You can hoop any way you want to because we're going to be working out the body. Core hooping in the HoopPath is anywhere from the top of the head to the bottoms of the feet. So it's anywhere along that path. And when I think of warming up for the core, what I think about is kneading dough, right? Like you're, or like, you know, if you've ever done clay, like warming up the clay, right? And you know, when you're warming up the clay, you're totally accepting that this is the process, right? Or you're kneading the dough, that this is the process. You're not trying to skip to the end unless you're like running late. It's the process. And so as you warm up the core, I like to think of it, it's that necessary kneading of your core. That like you're slowly relaxing, you're slowly loosening, you're slowly opening. Of course, you can be core hooping anywhere you want to right now. Audible breath in. Again, this is a free, basically a free core hoop song. This is just to warm you up for the advanced stuff we're going to be doing. If you're watching on Facebook, we almost always are shut down there. And you can check us out on YouTube. That's where most of the gang is. I got a few folks on Twitch, which I'm grateful for. HoopPath backs either platform better than Facebook, I promise. Better sound, better image, everything. Now, since we know what's coming, okay, with core hoop. Oh, okay. All right, let me know. This should be a little bit better. All right. Right. So since we know what's coming tonight, like we can go ahead and get started a little bit, okay? With thinking about our day side push and thinking about our night side push. Again, you could be hooping any way you want to on the core, and both of these ideas would still be important. What's pushing forward, or at least what's pushing forward from the front of you, what's pushing from the front of you, and what's pushing from the back. Let me know if the mic level still sucks. Thank you for the feedback, maybe. Audible breath in. Okay, now I want to get a little bit more specific. Okay, sweet, cool. Now I want to get a little bit more specific with this. Now, if you have a blindfold, you could grab one if you want one, but you don't have to. But we're going to do one exercise before we get into advanced core, because this is just, and then just to keep the frustration down, we're only going to do like one technique, a technique, and a song. So if you suck at one thing or you can't get it, it's not like this is not a deck of cards type class where if you don't get this first exercise, you won't get it. If you have a blindfold, I want you to go ahead and throw it on. And what I want to, okay, cool. Okay, what I want to do now is us to focus, as always, guys, thank you for the feedback. I mean, I love it. Okay, so with my blindfold on, I'm going to core hoop now, and I'm going to drop the blindfold. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I think this is just one of those slow build songs. All right. I don't think it's the same experience, Jennifer, to just close your eyes, but if that's what you're comfortable with, that's what you should do. Now, I have had students, I mean, because I've been teaching since 2005, I've had students that never bonded to the blindfold at all, and they don't do it, they don't bring it to class, they don't care, right? It's not totally necessary, whatever. But what I want you to do right now for me is to drop the blindfold. Yeah, drop it, or put it on, drop it over your eyes, smart ass. And I want you to settle into pure feeling. You're below the ego. The ego is probably like, what is it doing? How do I look? How is this handling? Where's this going? Are we, in trouble? And instead, I just want you to drop the blindfold, realize that you're in the safe space that your hoop is creating. And I want you to create rhythm at a core level with your hoop. I want you to imagine that, like, you're standing in a lake of water that is, just deep enough that it can move you and you can move it. I want you to feel the path of contact, where the hoop is contacting you. And your rhythm is, of course, underneath that path. But with the blindfold on, what I want you to do is to focus on that path itself as it rolls and runs around you. We used to call this the Ana meditation, to imagine that Ana is running around you. So my focus is imagining the path of contact as it rolls around me. My awareness is kind of just moving wherever it needs to be. And I'm letting my rhythm kind of like swing from branch to branch. As the music changes, I can change with it. Now, you could be anywhere on the core right now. It doesn't matter. I'm on my waist if you have your eyes open, but it could be anywhere. So this is pro tip number 1 on getting better at the core. Wear a blindfold and focus on your non-dominant tree. And bring your awareness to that tree, that side of your body, the non-dominant. If they're equal to you, then you're lucky, but just pick one. But I am focused and aware of my left arm now. My left shoulder. Now let's go back to that path of contact and all the rhythm underneath it. If you're an inner hippie like I am, it's like your little sister, your non-dominant side, needs you to activate her. And with your awareness and focus on that non-dominant side, as you feel the path of contact and rhythm, that's how you activate that energy. Wherever I am right now, I'm up on the shoulders. I'm feeling the path of contact. And I'm kind of bouncing between that feeling of the path of contact and rhythm. And I'm not trying to do anything with my hoop right now, and I think this is really important. I'm not trying to do anything with it. This is the flow of just one body rhythm of mine flowing into another one. So I'm not trying to make it do anything. I'm just watching and feeling things play out. Again, if you're just joining us, we're working on advanced core techniques. I started with my biggest tip, which is blindfolded. Audible breath in. Okay. All right, guys, stay with me here. This is gonna be intense. All right. So I thought what we would do, if you do have a blindfold, you can do this with your blindfold, but you can peel off your blindfold like this. You know, if you're watching a replay, you can do it on replay. And you just give your hands a twist within it, something like this, right? And so it's just a nice, gentle, connection between the two hands. And then I am going to turn, okay, and try to shoulder hoop while my hands are like this. All right. And then, you know, kind of like using a big hoop or whatever, like you can cheat, right? Like maybe you just hold, you know, like maybe rather than it being wrapped around your waist, you want to just like, you know, kind of like this is your yoga strap, okay? This is your yoga strap. This is like a way to feel these sort of points. We're doing advanced core hooping skills tonight. And we're working our way down to seated shoulders in just a second, but we're going to start with restricted flow. You know, and then there's all kinds of cool things, you know, you should flow with this. I'm not going to talk for very long, but flow with this, you know, you can put all kinds of things in. Oops. It's a little bit hard to do 2-point, but you sort of can. All right, let's put some music on. It's going to be kind of upbeat and housey tonight just because I'm trying to keep the energy up. Oh, sweet, now I'm never, really, wow. Sweet. Okay, so again, you don't have to do this sort of restricted flow exercise if you don't want to. But what happens is when you get to seated shoulders, you're going to need every trick that you have, everything that you can to pull off seated shoulders, because you're going to lose all the momentum you get from your legs, which is a lot. And so by restricting the movement, you know, like binding my hands or something, and you can drop a blindfold on too. I don't know if you guys saw what I was doing in the picture for the trailer, but that's here, right? Or I can also come down and just waist hoop it, right? Like I don't have to, you know, all right? Now, I know we have some advanced people here. So you can, and this is hard, but you can, again, wrap, you know, make maybe one loop, and then go behind the back. Which I have not, I should have practiced this more. Again, don't hurt yourself. I'm not endorsing this. This is just restricted type movement. Ooh. Wow. Chest opener right here. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Not too easy to cheat a hoop up, but you can do it, of course. Just doesn't look cool when I do it. Okay, I don't want to burn you out on that one too much. Okay, so this is where we're going to get into our seated shoulders. And I'm going to demonstrate this a little bit for you guys. All right, so one advanced thing about shoulder hooping, and what I should have said, I should have set this up maybe a little bit differently. Exactly. Okay, so we're going to work on seated shoulders here. And the reason I wanted you to sort of open and feel that restriction is just so that you could feel that flow going through you. And then you restrict, and so what that's doing is it's opening your awareness so that when we take away the legs, sweet, yeah, and y'all, I'm sorry I'm hitting you with props that you don't have on hand. I'm sorry about that. You know, I tried to say something in the beginning, but whatever. Anyway, okay, so seated shoulders. My advice is to get like a piano stool, a yoga stool, a small stool, or whatever. And rather than like trying to get down and get back up, I would just start here, okay? And what I'm gonna do to get here is I'm gonna be nice and upright, okay? And then I am gonna be, your legs are gonna be jamming, but you'll try to be efficient with those, and you're gonna send the hoop around. Now, what's really important, and there you can sort of see it up in the, sort of the bird's eye cam there. Actually, let me show you the bird's eye. Fuck it. We'll come back. Nice, T. Okay. I don't think I need, oh, there it is. You see how my arms are kind of going out? Boom, 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 boom. Now, I'm not trying to be too mathematical here, right? Like, I know this is physics and I know this is math, but I'm not thinking that way. And what I'm doing is just feeling, And so sometimes, I might look a little like out of beat or out of sync, and I am. But for me, what I'm trying to do is just pull this off right now. So if you're new to this, you'll feel how much your hands are, your legs are trying to help you, which is a encouraging sign. It helps to think up with your movement, but this is where it really, if you think about it, you need more vibration. You need more movement up there, and you can get that by moving your arms a lot. You can get that by pumping your chest a lot. Big hoops, Mama Flo, big hoops. You look like a tall person. I don't know if you are, but you need a big one. Or you don't need one. You don't need anything from me. The big ones are a lot easier. I'll just put it that way. Okay, so I'm here. Reverse. You don't have to reverse, but 6-3. Okay, yeah. Well, I hope you're not using the little red hoop right now. Unless you just really don't care about Frustrationville. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on that, but once you do feel like you can keep control of that up and down with the shoulders, then you can try to sit, lower and raise, right? No, I'll be honest with you, the stool that I'm on is pretty high, actually, so it's not that much for me to go down here, okay? But the reason you can work on that skill now is that eventually, hopefully, you'll be able to, if you don't hit your own stool, you'll be able to go from standing seat shoulders to seated, right? I don't know how this song got on the playlist. Okay. So this is seated shoulders. There I am. Yep. Now, one thing that can help you find, and this is more advanced stuff, if I pull my chest up, right, or my spine up, if I pull it up, right, and chest hoop, where I'd be, we got some dog interference here, but so this chest roll right here, and some of you might want to just try to get this, or not just try, but to add this, because this really is where a lot of the core rhythm, by core I mean, this part of the body is getting, it's where it's being generated, and you can really feel it. And then when you start to add the arms to this, right, you got good control of the hoop, and you can pretty much go as long as you want to. I think you guys have seen doing this before, but once you get seated shoulders, right, then you can start to get really cute with it, right, and I can like turn and twist, right, or turn and twist. Wow, I can really feel where I'm tight. Wow, okay, all right. And then, right, okay. Well, I guess you should, just because I can. Oh, here we go. So we're back up on our feet. Well, whatever, you can say, if you could, we'll stay seated. Actually, I think Tara's got a good idea. Let's practice some of this and I'll come back. Oh yeah, 36, man. That's just pretty small. I mean, I'm a 38. If that gives you perspective. I'm 5'10". Okay. Oh yeah, where did I want to go with this? So we did seated shoulders. Yeah, I thought we'd talk a little bit. Let me make sure I'm doing okay on time too. Oh wow, okay. All right, I hope you guys. Yeah, sweet, yeah. Give yourself every advantage. Okay, so we did seated. Oh, you know what I thought we'd do is, let's talk a little bit about legs. This is definitely advanced stuff. I'll have to pick up the beat a little. Okay, here we are. We're gonna work on legs right now, okay? The first thing we're gonna try to feel for is what's called a one-tree rhythm. That's where both sides of the body are doing the same thing, okay? And this kind of leg hooping typically looks kind of like you're just dipping your legs like this, and the hoop is pretty much riding right, not over the kneecap, but just on top of the kneecap, right? So this is what this looks like. Whoa, oops. All right. I don't hoop this way, but maybe I should. Okay, there we go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm pushing my knees together comfortably, but I'm treating my whole body as this kind of just one really tight thing. And so when it's moving around my legs, right? Now I may not be able to get it up from here, but who cares, right? But what I want you to do is feel control. Even if you feel like you can't do anything with it, it's not on the ground, okay? Because once you have control with the legs, then you start to turn out, or I think that's called external rotation, I could be wrong, movement teacher, but you turn out both legs, right? And then if I sort of establish independence from one leg from the other and turn out, I can walk the hoop back up, right? And you can do it the same. I always look at the monitor. You can do the same. Like if I rotate in, right, then the hoop drops. I'm gonna feel this rhythm. Right? And then when I want to bring it back up, if that's something that you struggle with, and basically you need to know how to do it, right? I'm gonna rotate outward. Each leg is gonna rotate out, kind of penguin it. Scissor the hoop right up. All right. So let's try some legs. I'll shut up. One way that you can really get control of the legs, at least for me, I used my blindfold to find this, you don't have to, but it's to feel the backs of your legs, okay? Now, it makes total sense that you would focus on the front, right? Because that is kind of what's putting the up. But once you start to focus on the backs of your legs, all right. Is that enough leg torture for now? Okay. Where else was I going to go? Oh yeah, okay. Actually, let's just talk a little bit about angles, and we'll skip over the really torturous stuff. And this is a better song for this. Okay. So I'm here, right? And what we're going to work on right now is to chi It's like hoop slang, but to chi the hoop down into earth and back into sky. Okay? So if I call out earth, 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 you pitch forward if you have to. You lift your heels. And then you go and you find the path of contact, because when you're in angle hooping, kind of like we did with the blindfold, it's extra important. Because what happens is angle hooping exposes the sort of silent, neglected tree. Now, up and down creates the angle, okay? And what holds the angle, and we've talked about this in the skills class, which I need to reshoot anyway, what controls the angle is when there is left and right some way. And it doesn't need to be like every single rotation or anything like that, but some left and right can help hold it in. I mean, holding it in by like preventing the hoop from wanting to walk on you. For a lot of hoopers, it helps to tighten their abs. And then what we're going to try to do now, so if up and down creates the angle, then what takes the angle away would be that orbit motion, right? So if I'm in an angle, earth, and let's say I want to walk all the way to sky, I'm going to have to orbit, like roll around the center, flatten the hoop, bounce, 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 tighten the abs, and I'm in sky. Then I walk that, roll, 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 orbit, 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 bounce, bounce, bounce. Sky, 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 roll, 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 bounce, bounce, bounce. Earth, 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 earth. Of course, if you can reverse. Sometimes after you spend a lot of time in one current, it can take a second to change it. But then sky, 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 sky. Roll, roll, orbit, 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 up and down, earth, earth, earth. Sky, 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 roll, 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 bounce, bounce. Come up to the shoulders. However you do it. You can dip a shoulder to roll into an angle. You can just start bouncing. Sometimes to get into an angle, it helps to change the pivot of or change the position of your shoulders, where maybe one shoulder was forward, bring it back some, or vice versa. Now, sky, 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 sky. In sky angle, I recommend you bring your elbows up, way up into day, way up here. Instead of what I usually teach, bring them up here and you'll create this shelf. Your hoop keeps staying angled. Okay, so let me address this first before we. So here's the thing. When you're teaching angles, sometimes it's hard for people to understand that it's two forces that are going to be working together now, that's what the angle requires, right? It's like a momentum and a change of direction, okay? So the change of direction is achieved by bouncing up and down, okay? And then the control is achieved by finding, even though you're on this new angle, by finding the same balance points, the same balance of push that you had at the waist, right? And so one of the ways you can get that is you can do a one-tree motion like we were doing with the legs, where you just sort of belly dance that energy, or you can do the sort of ping pong ball method, which is where there's just this crazy bouncing ball of awareness. So if I'm here, I start my bounce, I lift my heels, but then when I'm here, I'm gonna have to, I can keep my up and down, can keep going, but I need some left and right? Like I need some push this way, right? Now, if I want to get it out of the angle, I'm going to completely take away the bounce up and down, and I'm just going to immediately start just the most aggressive belly dance motion that I can to literally whip it out of the angle, right? Nice, Jennifer. Yeah, getting one side higher. We talked about this before. I know we're almost out of time. I'll put some music on so you. Sweet. Hey, Callie. So, we were talking about sky angle, that push. Now watch where this is another tip I'll give you. I've given this one on the road before. Again, this is just for hoop addicts. Instead of going into your angles, sky angle, and sort of, finning the hands or just keeping your arms really straight, bend them, right? And what you do is then raise your hands till they are in your sight, okay? Whatever that means. So here, they're not in my sight, right? Okay, it's like a poorly positioned TV in a hotel room or something. But this is in my sight, right? Right? And then the cool thing about your body is that once things are in its sight, especially you, it tries to organize it, right? And so that's one way to bring activity that's usually missing in your sky angle, is just to look at what you're doing. If the hoop starts to run out of gas on you, you give it more up and down, right? If the hoop is wanting to walk on you, you balance it out with left and right. I haven't done this in a while, but I'll try to demo something for you. All right, do you see how I'm in this kind of twilight angle that nobody likes? You're sort of in between earth and sky. Watch how well, wait a minute, okay. I want to get it into, yeah, okay. So, kind of backwards to do this. But I'm switching the angles. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Now what I'm doing, I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm sort of doing a turn more like this, right? And that's happening because my arms are out away from my body, and they're kind of helping me change the pivot of the hoop, change its rotation a little bit. Okay. Okay, everybody. I'm going to call it, we ran late. I'm going to play a couple songs for Free Hoop. You fire away questions if you have them.
Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, ATL, NYC, let's get it. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down.
Sorry, Michelle.
Make the bitches go blind. They're screaming out my name as I'm passing the line. I just chuck them deuces, I don't pay him no mind. Cause it's two in the AM.
Tara is commiserating with you guys.
My homie going crazy, looking at them asses wiggle. Cause he fresh out the pan. But pussy to get in. Tell mommy strike a pose, touch your toes, stretch your
Tara's been hooping about 2.5 years, really.
Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down. Fresh pair of Ferragamos is me and my nigga Homo. Got bitches performing like it's your time at the Apollo. Waitress bringing bottles, bottle after bottle. Love my thick, pretty chicks, fuck a bony model. When I'm married to these streets, that's the only way to be. Living like a G, you will never Kobe me, but you could be my A Rose or my Kim K. Drive to my place, make our own sex tape. If you drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down. See, I be down south, nigga, kicking up top game. I just want the money and the hell with the fame. Audi S5 with the rings on the grill. Caramel interior and look at the wheels. Got a stallion for a passenger, she blowing it loud. Smoke so Gucci, write my name in the cloud. She said, daddy, 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 how the fuck you do that? I just slowly grab her neck and put her head in my lap and told her, drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down.
Sweet.
Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, baby, let me see what you're working with. Drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down.
Sorry for all the mic.
This is what we do, we over here. Balling out and stunting every day on a day, nigga. We wake up counting like 50K and jump out in the streets. Something new. You know what I mean? This is what we talking about.
Okay. All right. We will, we should... No. Yeah. I always play this one. We'll finish off with this one. This is a nice chill one. This is probably the 4th time I've played it on this podcast, but I love this track.
Money coming, money go, yeah. People coming, people go. If you sneaking on the low, yeah.
I'll show you one thing in the sky while I'm here, right? And you can keep free hooping, you can ignore me, whatever. But I think kind of what Michelle is talking about, if I'm reading this right, is the tilt, of course. Well, what she's talking about is the... Oh, that's weird. There we go. Okay. What she's talking about is this angle here. So if I lean way back, do you see how like one shoulder can be up and one shoulder can be down? Right. And so you can imagine like this is me sort of changing that angle from way back there. Now I'm way more leaned over than you would ever be, right? But you can see that different angle there. And so sometimes what helps people find that angle in sky is to think about dipping the shoulder or pushing it forward. Almost always it's dipping it back, right? So if I'm going to the left, and I'm in sky, I'll show you the difference. See that? Or that, right? You can learn to do them both, of course. But when you're trying to find it, you may not realize that you're sort of, you're favoring one side or something, right? And so what we call the AM arm, that's the, if you're going to the left, that's your right arm. Going to the right is your left arm. That usually needs to be dipped, generally. Instead of people doing this kind of thing, drop. And like all things, you're gonna, oh sweet, Tara gave me a thumbs up for that one. Tara's having success tonight.
It's not the same as before. It's not the same as before. You had to even up the score.
Okay.
I'm looking at the door that you ain't walking through no more.
Before too many of you guys bounce out, I went ahead and said what the class is going to be about on. Sweet, Sarah. Sweet. Good to see you. Oh, wow. Sweet, man. I'm loving all these comments, guys. Okay, before I forget, we're going to do a tosses kind of fun class. If you have a small space, I used to live in a place with like a 7-foot ceiling. So you can still do this class, and I'll try to make it so that it'll be fun. But Thursday is going to be kind of this, we're going to do tosses, wheelies, and strikes. And just kind of mix it up. That's definitely a small hoop class. So, if you, smaller hoop. Okay, so we're just about out of time anyway, so thank you guys so much. I'll maybe play this song and then something chill. Sweet. Thank you guys so much. Claire, Kelly, everybody, thank you so much. Jennifer, Mimi, everybody, so appreciate it. guys. Thank you so much.